something in my lens right there. There it is, right on my forehead. See it? That's what happens when you weld and you don't cover your lens. I did buy a new lens on eBay yesterday because of this and some other electrical problems that have been going on with electronics. Sometimes it's not focusing at all. So, new lens is on the way. We'll get rid of this and get rid of all this splatter. I'm excited to announce another Maker Mob challenge. This is the scrap wood challenge for the next 6 weeks. Me and 5 other YouTubers will be making things on YouTube out of scrap wood. Each one of those videos is going to be an extended video on the Maker Mob. Starting today, May 1st, Neil Paskin from Pask Makes will kick it off with the first of 6 scrap wood challenges. This Friday, Neil will release an in-depth step-by-step woodworking tutorial that will show you exactly how to build the same project the same day it will go live on his YouTube channel. Then next Friday there'll be another one, and the next Friday there'll be another one, and so on until there's 6 different makers. For all the details, follow the link below. Here's a little teaser of what I am making. I am using all this scrap hardwood that I have. I have lots of long skinny pieces, and I am going to hand cut and do an inlaid box. It's going to be a gift for a friend. It's going to be kind of a keep-safe box, and I'm really excited. I haven't done something like this in a very, very long time. It's been about 30 years that I did something very similar to this. College student doing some more involved woodworking than I had ever done in my life up till then, and it's exciting. So this is going to be my entry into the scrap wood challenge. So follow the links in the description for more information. So in new tools, I got this Spider CNC from my friends over at APSX. They're the same guys that made the injection molder that I showed you a couple of weeks ago. The concept is I am going to build a mold on this machine, and then we're going to put it in their injection molder. This machine is built incredibly well. It's got about 10 more stepper motors than it probably needs. It is built to last. So we're going to be running this through the paces next couple of weeks, and there'll be a full-on video on this machine and the injection molder coming up soon. On my lathe update, the last 2 videos that I posted were lathe videos, my giant mallet video and the wooden stools. This lathe I bought with the bundle of wires clipped. The bundle of wires that keeps the headstock to the switch were clipped completely off, and the lathe sat for a while, and Patrick and I took apart the whole housing and everything, and we started to realize there's a lot of rodent urine on the windings, and we think that maybe the rodent urine deteriorated some of the casing on the windings. And after all was said and done, we were able to surgically reconnect the switch to the motor itself, but it seems like it only works in 2 of the 4 speeds, a very low speed and speed 3. So speed 1 works and speed 3 works. What I would like to try and do is get this motor rewound. If there's anybody out there that can give me advice on how to get this motor rebuilt, redone, with a new switch set up, or with the switch set up accurately, we had a hard time finding wiring diagrams on this. If anybody has any advice, please let me know. Making this big giant mallet has been in my notebook for a very long time, and I finally got to it this week, which was funny. I thought it was going to be a simple video. I started it late in the week thinking, oh, this is going to be a 2-day build. But it got complicated. It got complicated pretty fast because I decided to make this tapered hole. And this tapered hole is not easy to do. I looked 4 or 5 different ways of how I was going to do it. Ultimately, I settled on just using a plasma CNC mandrel that I made out of stainless steel, and welded it together, and me and Patrick reamed the hole. So if you guys want more in-depth on this and also the stools, any of my videos get voiced over on my Patreon account. So if you're at all interested, you can go check me out on my Patreon. For $1 a month, you can become a patron, and you get access to all my videos that are voiced over with full-on sort of directorial explanations. I talk a little bit about the videography and the edit too as well. I made these really well-built stools. I wanted to make stools that were not going to break. I also wanted to absolutely put this lathe through its paces. This is the first project I ever did on this lathe. And I also wanted to make stretcher bars that weren't going to break or fall out. So I made them out of steel. And in the process of engineering this, I realized there's only one way to put steel stretchers with collars that grab the tapered legs, and that is to weld them in place. And I kept water nearby so that as I welded them, I could put the fire out. And it worked out great. It worked out great. Any little burn marks that singed that showed sticking out of the collars was hidden by the paint. So this was a really fun project. I actually got an order to make 2 of them. So I'm going to be working on a new set of those in a couple days. So this was a good one. I learned a lot on this one. And that's whenever I make anything, that's really the most rewarding, is when I come away from it knowing, wow, I'm that much more experienced now, because I put myself through all these challenges. Speaking of challenges, this was a new one. If you follow me on Instagram, you have been following along on the product development of this bench. This is a bench that turns into a table. Not my idea, absolutely not my idea. It has been around. It's one of those ideas that just goes around the internet. You never seem to know where it came from or who invented it. If anybody does know who invented it, give them credit in the comments. But I wanted to improve on this design, which I've only ever seen made out of 2x4s. I've never seen it made out of anything but 2x4s. Personally, I haven't seen that. So I wanted to say, let me do a Lincoln video, a Lincoln welding video, and this video is going to be turned into an article in ARC magazine. So this was a fun one. This was a challenge. I found some very, very simple plans in a video. I literally had to do a screenshot of a profile, and what I wanted more than anything was the pivot points. Just the pivot points on that object, and then I redesigned the arrangement of the legs and everything else, because I didn't have to stick to the constraints of 2x4s and all the extra bracing that a 2x4 setup would need. Making it out of steel, I had the freedom to just have very dainty design, and that's what I did here, and it works great. So I'm really, really happy with the net result. This video will be out probably maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure.
So many commercials. Oh boy. Yeah, and he looks tired. Doesn't he look tired?
I did not want to forget to remind you that this May 7th, myself and Carrie Locklyn from Extreme Home Makeover. If you don't know Carrie, she is the interior designer on Extreme Home Makeover on HGTV. Her and I are going to do a live stream, and in that live stream, she's going to present me with some real life problems, potentially some problems from some of her clients or some real life situations in her own home. And together we're going to design solutions, her from a more decorative point of view and mine from a more technical materials point of view. It should be a lot of fun. It's a pay event. Some of the proceeds go to charity. Follow the links in the description below to find out when and how and where, and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you guys remember my barbecue that I made last spring? I actually made it 10 months ago because we looked it up to see when I published it, because if it goes past 12 months, then I can't patent it. But since it's been out for 10 months, we might be able to patent it. My buddy Brian wants to bring this to market, and we did some brainstorming, some redesigning, some modifications to the original design. And that's what you see here. We see a SolidWorks model, and we were talking, we want to make it so that we have 2 grills that go up and down independently, with a left apparatus and a right apparatus and its own dial and its own dial. So I came up with this mechanism here where it's kind of all self-supported to just one side of a set of scissors, a pair of, I guess you would call it, its own scissor assembly, one-sided. And that's what we were playing around with here. And this is just a little Q&A with my friend Brian. What do you like about my barbecue? What do you think is cool about it?
I think it's different than anything out in the market already, and I think it's the design is kind of steampunk. It's kind of a guy's, a man's.
Do you think we have luck with trying to sell this to?
I think I think there's going to be a really good chance.
Made in America, you think?
Made in America, 100%.
You got the factory already figured out?
Have a factory, one of them figured out.
In the Northeast?
Yep.
Right on. And what is the next step? We go to a prototype from here?
We're going to finish up the CADs, go to a prototype, and do some animated CADs, and then present to some retailers and get some feedback. Won't make anything till we have an order.
Yeah.
Want to make sure that we have a really good proof of concept and a backer.
Right. And then today we just came up with this. We were just playing around with this idea of trying to do a one-sided grill, rather a one-sided mechanism, because we would have two grills side by side. And then this would be a left and a right, so we could independently raise and lower the levels. This is a good step today. We kind of had this breakthrough while we were brainstorming today.
Yeah, good stuff.
Are we starting a company, or are we going to just use it in your brand?
Could be Zoinks, could be a different brand. I don't know yet.
Right.
We'll see what happens when we get a little bit closer.
Right on, very cool. So let's see if we can get this to market. It'll be great. Brian really believes in it, and I want to thank him for pushing me on this one. Because unfortunately, I just keep coming up with stuff and moving forward and coming up with another video. I never stop to actually develop products, because to me they're complicated. I like doing the simple stuff like the razor blades and the ice picks. To learn more about Brian's product development company, Zoinks, check him out on Instagram. He's been at the product development game for over 35 years. Speaking of the razor blades are going to be available probably this week. I'm sorry it's been taking so long. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes with the redesign of the website and the commerce section, technically, of the website. We've been redesigning it, and it's been a matter of where things are going to ship, how they're going to ship, and a complicated thing like that. But the razor blades will come with a poster that we hand printed here at the shop, and it's going to be wrapped up, and it's going to come in an envelope, but you can get the poster and the razor blade. And I'm asking the community, if anybody buys one of these, I want you to figure out a holder. If you do any cool concept, I'm putting it out there for you guys to come up with, and then share any sort of holders, handles, anything like that. I mean, we all know Jackman did the big giant handle, but if there's any sort of Thingiverse thing you could share or something like that, or patterns or plans, I want to hopefully use this as a little bit of a community builder. So the razor blade's coming soon, and then shortly thereafter the boot knife will be coming out soon as well. This beautiful poster was designed by my buddy Doug Yeager. His Instagram link will be in the description. Go follow him. I want to show you these beautiful stickers that I got from a guy that I met on Instagram. The name of the company is Schild Nederland. They're in the Netherlands. That's his Instagram. I'm going to link it below. They make beautiful raised real metal stickers. And he did such a beautiful job on this. I sent him over an illustration file, and he sent me back a couple of proofs, and then it took a little bit of time. It got lost in the mail. Unfortunately, it didn't get totally lost, but it took a little bit of time to get here, and that wasn't his fault. But I was hoping to have these for Workbench Con, but anyway. They're here now, and I'm really happy with them, and I think I'm going to sell them on the store. They're a little pricey, but they're worth it because they're really beautifully made, and they're actual real brass stickers. So I'm going to have these up on the store as well. Not right away. I only got them today, so it's going to take time to get the listing put up. But they're great. And if you want to buy your own personalized sticker, go hit them up. Very easy to deal with. Customer service was great, and I feel it was worth every penny. You guys remember that I made a canoe, right? It's like a year ago. Well, I am happy to say that Taylor and I finally took it out. We had a sunny day right on my birthday. My birthday's April 3rd, so it was the day after my birthday, and we finally took the canoe out for a ride on the lake, and Taylor knew everything about paddling. I knew nothing, and she taught me how to paddle. And so this is just a montage of us paddling. It's not so exciting, but it was exciting for us because we finally broke the ice and took out this canoe, and it was a really great feeling for me to tell the guys on the dock, I made this canoe. I was very proud of myself. So enjoy this montage. So Facebook Market is a really bad thing for junk pickers and collectors like me and someone like Chris Zepp. In a whim, I bought this 1967 Cadillac, kind of like an impulse buy. I wrote to the guy, he was close, and the one thing that kicked it over the edge was he says, I'll deliver it. And when he said that, I was like, I could work all day tomorrow and I don't have to go get it. So he delivered it. It's a 1967 DeVille convertible. It is an absolutely beautiful car that is in horrendous condition. He got it in this condition. He doesn't really know any history on it. He probably salvaged it from someplace. And I see it as a rat rod here at the Blackthorn here in Eastham. We have what's called the Rat Rod Show at the Blackthorn Resort in August. Hopefully everything still goes off without any problems. And I'm going to have my Cadillac ready to run in August at the Rat Rod Show over there. And that has been my goal. I talked about it on a few podcasts. The bigger deal with this car and the bigger source of learning for me is to start tinkering. Take apart the windshield motors. If you follow me on Instagram, you see I've taken apart the window motors to fix them. The car must have been submerged in water. I don't know. All the motors seem to be rusted, like as if they were soaking in water. The top probably hasn't been on it in years. There is no top at all, but the frame is there. I bought a new hydraulic motor. It's coming in the mail. So for me, it's really a tinkering experiment. I know about motors and gas and engines and stuff like that, but I'm not really, really good at it. I know the basics. So for me, this is going to be a learning experience. And I get to get a cool whip when I'm done, a cool convertible that I could just have fun with and not take it all too serious. And that's really, for me, is where the art is, not having to take it too serious. This is not going to be a perfect restoration. It's going to be a junk salvage, basically. My salvage. It's mechanical restoration, I guess. I'm excited. Now that the weather has given up a little bit, it's not 10 degrees every day, I'm blacksmithing in my blacksmith shop. And so here's a little montage of me just playing around making a knife. Nothing for video other than just a little bit of vlog B-roll. This is me just having fun and learning and exploring some of the techniques I learned from some of my master blacksmith friends over the last couple of years. And really just going through the motions. It's really the most important thing when you start learning some techniques. I mean, you could read as many books as you want and watch as many YouTube videos as you can, but it's most important to get out there and actually practice the muscle memory, the muscle exercise, the millions and millions of decisions that go into moving metal around or whatever it is you do. I mean, if you could imagine what the G code looks like of a human being creating a knife from a lump of metal, you know, that's crazy. And that's something you need to practice. I need to practice, and that's why I keep doing it. I have another knife I just made too as well. And when I have a bit of a collection going, maybe I'll do a little chat up or a little video or vlog entry on some of the net results of my blacksmithing. I made nails in my mallet video for the very first time, and that was a lot of fun. So I definitely learned some techniques from the guys over at Alex Pole Metalworks, and Steve from Moonshine gave me some techniques, even just in a couple of conversations, gave me some techniques that I was able to use when I was making those nails. So it's really important. Get out there and you got to do the activity. I got a beautiful gift in the mail. I would like to thank Kyle. Kyle sent me these. These are incredible. Kyle, what kind of material is this? This just came out incredibly beautiful. Kyle made these for a few of his makers, friends that he's been inspired by, and I was on that list. So Kyle, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. These are incredible. Beautiful, beautiful job. Nice combination of plastic and technique and painting the inlay, setting it back. Really, really beautiful done. Kyle's company is called San Diego CNC, and I'll tag his Instagram below. You can go follow him. So thank you, my friend. I have not been to the city since February 7th for obvious reasons. I haven't been to my P.O. box. So if anybody's still sending stuff to my P.O. box because of the logistics of what's going on here in New York State, I haven't been able to get down there. In due time, I will be able to pick up what's down there. So thank you for anybody that may have sent stuff to my P.O. box in New York City. Thank you to everybody for following along. Stay safe, practice your social distancing, and just stay home and make stuff. Just a quick update. My turkey, if you follow it on Instagram, he wandered away a couple of weeks ago. He was missing for 2 days. Thankfully, he only walked about a mile away to a neighbor's yard, and he ended up settling in a neighbor's backyard. And I was able to make contact with that neighbor, or he was able to find me through Facebook, a local Facebook group on the town here in East Durham. He posted a picture of the turkey and said, does anybody know who's missing a turkey? He just came and started living in my backyard. And that was me, and we went over, and Taylor tackled the turkey. She's amazing with animals. The turkey I just would have been chasing him. I would have still been chasing him around the yard. Taylor dove on him and tackled him. We got him in a cage, brought him back here. I quarantined him to the coop for a few days, about 5 days, and I finally let him out, and he's been hanging around. If he goes missing again, I'll check my neighbor's back porch. But thank you for all the concern and questions on my missing turkey. A lot of people got sad, but it had a happy ending. Hey, come on.